Okay, I hope we're live now. I have no idea. Are we live? Oh yeah, okay, we're live.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
I
okay,
didn't
that
do the
seems
shout out.
that's
Damn! Look at the
what
camera
shout out.
quality. I look flipping incredible. No,
Yeah, beautiful.
thanks, man.
Okay, so
Are we live?
yeah, we're live. What I told you.
We are live.
Yeah, I love how YouTube always gives me a notification for when I go live. Yep, it always
Yeah, it
does
does
that.
that with my
Often,
videos that I put on Premiere as well.
yeah, Instagram also does that. When I post something from Al Muqaddimah, it always shows up on my personal account. It's like, yeah, Al Muqaddimah has posted something. So what? I know I did that. Okay. Hello.
Okay.
First time watching Uzair Ahmed. Okay. So you're not the person that I have a friend named Uzair Ahmed. I always thought that when you commented, I always thought that it was him. But okay, good to know you're not him.
Good to know.
Yeah, because I don't know, like yeah. So there's a less hacky this time. We'll hopefully we're doing this through StreamYard. So if this goes down, that's on Hikmah History because he's the one who said that we should do it on StreamYard. We don't
Dude,
have we don't have
take
any control.
responsibility for once in your life. Just,
Why
just,
should I
just
take responsibility? This is your idea. The whole thing
no,
was
just
your
for
idea.
once in your life. Just let's try it. This whole self accountability.
If I wanted to take
Yes.
responsibility, I'd be a capitalist. But I blame other people
Oh,
sometimes.
nice. I like that.
Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. About the most beautiful mosque I ever saw. This is the one. Can you see it? Okay, yeah. This is the one. Mezquita de Cordova. Yeah.
What's the most beautiful mosque I've ever seen? Probably the Sulaimaniya that I've personally seen, but yeah, I'd like to see the Badshahi or some other Mughal one.
Have you been to the Suleymaniye Mosque in Turkey?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. I've like been there on like flight layovers and stuff, but I've never actually been inside Istanbul.
Dude, you gotta go to Istanbul, man. I feel like for somebody who's into history,
Yeah.
it's just incredible, man.
It's shocking that I've never been there.
Yeah. I don't know
And
what's more shocking, the fact that you haven't been to Istanbul or I haven't been to Spain or Al-Andalus.
the Istanbul one, because Istanbul is like much easier for me. But then again, you're a British citizen, right? For you, Spain is
Exactly.
also easy. For
Exactly.
me, Spain was not exactly as easy. But yeah, Istanbul, like a lot of people from Pakistan, they travel to Istanbul on a regular basis, and I've been to the city like 4 times, but I've never actually been to the city. I've just been at the airport.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on Sayyid Ahmad Sarhandi? Do you know that
Um,
Mujaddid al-Afsani?
Sayyid Ahmad Sirhandi. Let me remind myself.
He was the guy who fought against the Mughals. Akbar's Deen Ilahi and all that. He was the guy who fought against that.
Ah, I remember him. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'll be speaking out of my backside if I start saying things about him. I don't know that much about him, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Um,
I personally like him.
do you know stuff about him?
Yeah, he is. Well, the first thing is that he's often called Mujaddid al-Afsani, which means the reformer of the second millennium.
Okay.
And so I think in that he was actually right. He wanted to return Islam to sort of the Akbar style orthodoxy, not orthodoxy, but the other kind of thing. He was sort of an orthodox, but he was an orthodox. I like that because I think that Akbar's, for example, Deen Ilahi and all that went too far.
Right.
From an Islamic perspective, I understand that. So I do think that he was like it was good. He was kind of needed. But I also agree with some points with Akbar on some points. Of course, Deen Ilahi and his self-aggrandization and all that. I don't agree with that, but I think that there was some room for that as well.
Right. No, I agree.
Sari Mashraf is saying that he's never been to Agra, which is 50 miles from my home. That really is surprising and sad. You should really go there.
Yeah, that's way worse than both
And
of
also,
ours.
the saddest thing is that you live in UP, so that's the
Why is
saddest
that
point.
sad?
Because it's UP. That's like the worst place to live in India.
Why?
Because it's UP. Like that's a racist joke.
Okay.
It's like if you it's like if you're from the U.S. and you live in Alabama or Florida. It's kind of like
Right.
that.
Oh, okay. But isn't that the part of India where there's a lot of major cities?
Yeah, I think it's the most populous and the biggest state. It's being ruled by like it's like the home of BJP at the moment. It's under the control of BJP's Yogi Adityanath, and so there's a lot of problems there these days. But it's a home to many important cities. Agra is there, Allahabad is there. Perfect. My camera has died.
Why?
Give me a minute. This just happens sometimes.
Guys, this is the production level at Al Muqaddimah. So if you want better content without these technical difficulties, jump on board to Hikmah History, where we don't have these issues.
Okay, there are never technical difficulties on Al Muqaddimah. It's just this thing
About this,
because
we're about this.
because there's a problem with with my camera, which is that it's I think it's a problem with like my okay, yeah, there we go. But let me just okay. Yeah, okay, that's so it's a problem with my camera for some reason. It does that.
Sounds like
I
you're just
was
making excuses, to be
I was
honest.
really scared that this might happen.
You're scared. Wow, that's a strong word.
Yeah, because my camera it's really problematic in a couple of ways. Okay, yeah, let's just do that.
Guys, I'm
Okay.
going to be eating throughout this live stream. Let me know if it becomes a problem.
All right, this filter I did not put. This is up. This is some sort of problem with the StreamYard, so that's on Tariq then.
What? Why? Why?
I don't know. It's StreamYard is doing this. I'm not doing that. I
I
like the
don't
filter
own
though.
StreamYard.
I mean, you're the one who recommended it.
Yeah?
Yeah, you recommended it, so it's on you. And I have no idea what's up with the filter, but I like it. It's not bad. It's like a Spider-Man noir kind of thing.
Who cares, man? Let's just continue. Okay.
I care, obviously.
So, see, I wish I got a question for you.
Yeah,
You see the Queen, right? She just died, right?
yeah.
What do you think?
R.I.P.
RIP, RIP. What do you think about her legacy? Should it be something that should be celebrated? Should it be something that should be maybe looked at a little deeper and highlight some of the more negative elements, if there are any? What you think?
I don't think that there are any negative elements per se, because to her personally, I mean, I'm against the crown itself, the British crown, but I don't think that there's anything to like personally object to with Elizabeth II. I think she was pretty decent person. Yeah, okay, with the Diana stuff and all that. But I think that in general, she's like she was just there. A couple of her colonies had coups and stuff, and she didn't do anything. Canada became more and more independent, and she didn't do anything. So like, she was just there. There's really
Okay,
nothing to do in that way
okay.
in terms of the
Um,
legacy. Yeah.
I,
But
w-
yeah,
I, w- think
I have
I
a problem
agree.
with Charles personally, simply because he's a Mountbatten. That's the only reason that I have a problem with him personally.
Wait, how's he a Mountbatten? I don't understand.
His father was a Mountbatten.
Was he? So
Yeah.
Albert was a Mountbatten?
No, he was not Albert. He was Philip. Albert was Victoria's husband.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
not a
Sorry,
Mountbatten.
sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you don't like the entire Mountbatten family?
Yeah, because the last
Just
viceroy
one
of
dude?
India, a Mountbatten.
Yeah, but that was just one dude, one member of the family.
Yeah, the whole family's tainted for me. The name is tainted for me. I think if it changes, well, even if it changes his name, he will be Mountbatten. Because there are many members of the family who still use the name Mountbatten.
Let me ask you a question. You see, Mountbatten, there's these rumors that his wife had an affair with Nehru. How much
Yeah.
do you believe that?
Someone once told me that the Nehru and that Mountbatten and his wife had some sort of an understanding, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's what
They
I
were
read
they
as
were
well.
friends, true, but then I've no idea.
That's what I read as well. Apparently,
Yeah,
Mountbatten was a very freaky individual.
yeah. Well, so was Gandhi. So like, you never know.
Yeah, Gandhi apparently was
Yeah,
really freaky.
people can be freaky. Like recently, I found out. Matt actually told me that Richard Feynman is kind of a was he was like a he that like a lot of women came out over his sexual misconduct, and I was really surprised by like everybody these days is like,
Damn.
yeah, just cannot do anything. As long as we have Tom Hanks and Bob Ross, I think we'll be fine.
Why? What's so special about those two?
And my camera died again. Give me a minute.
Just keep talking. Who cares, man?
Ah,
Um,
okay. So it's a battery issue. God damn it!
yeah, I could have told you that.
It's battery is what the problem is. I don't know why I decided to do this. I just wanted a better camera, I guess. So
Okay.
I decided to hook up my camera, as in my Give me a minute.
All right, guys. Whilst Xiaowish is fixing that, ask me questions.
Yeah, ask him questions, and let him give you wrong answers, and then I'll come in and give you the right ones.
What are you talking about?
Talking about.
What are you talking? Thoughts on Washington consensus effect? Oh, let's do a
What is
quick.
that?
Let me do a quick Google search. I feel like, oh, somebody asked me this in my IG story. Let me remember if I. Oh yeah, it's that economic policy. Washington Consensus is a set of 10 economic policy prescriptions considered to constitute the standard reform package promoted for crisis-wrecked developing countries by Washington, D.C. institutions such as the IMF, World Bank, and the Department of Treasury, the American Department of Treasury. Um, I mean, I haven't done that much research into it, clearly, but sounds like it makes sense. Sounds like they would have something like this. I mean, the thing with certain conspiracy theories, and I feel like a lot of people get stuck on this, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be, say, for instance, the head of all of these institutions get together in like a dark lit room and they start conspiring about these issues. It could literally be they independently realize that this is going to be the course of our action, just because it benefits us. See what I'm saying? So if it benefits them, if it's in their self interest, I don't see why not. They wouldn't do that.
Okay, so I've plugged in the camera. Hopefully
Do you
now there's.
agree with London Central Mosque holding a vigil for the Queen? Oh, this is a good question. I want to talk about this. Um, do I agree? It's I feel torn. On the one hand, I'm like, nah, that feels a bit over the top. On the other hand, I kind of like it because I will say, and I know when I say this, some people are gonna misconstrue this for me being, I don't know, like a
Okay, it's
bootlicker or something, but I do think there is a certain responsibility for immigrants when they go to another country to be grateful to be in that country.
wow.
Now, let me no, let me elaborate. That gratitude obviously is very important that you don't like literally have gratitude to the point where you're just some obedient little dog, and you just you just give up your agency, so to speak. But there should definitely be some gratitude. Like I think it's a sign of a healthy human being. Because think about it, if you came from a certain background that is wrecked with conflict or economic issues, and you come to say Britain and you have a better chance of getting a higher standard of living, like, dude, there's a certain responsibility placed on your shoulders. I mean, I feel this, where I don't know how you're gonna, demonstrate this practically, but like you should be grateful for that. So, in terms of them holding a vigil, I'm not mad at it. I also don't love the idea. I think it's like kind of 50-50. What do you think,
That
Serge?
is like the most outdated thing I've heard from you in a
What?
while.
What?
That like first of all, you don't have to be grateful for anything.
What do you mean, dude? Gratitude is essential for a
It's not
healthy
like that. Come
outlook.
on. Okay, so yeah, so okay, so as an immigrant, me
No.
or you should be grateful. What about the people who were born in Britain? Should they feel gratitude?
What do you mean? Which people?
Not us, let's say white people. I mean, you
Um.
and I are both immigrants, even though you are
Right. Right.
a citizen of the UK, still
Right.
an immigrant because you weren't born here. So, what about the people who were born here? What about, let's say, your children? Should they feel gratitude?
Absolutely, bro. What are you talking about? Because
What
if I
about
didn't
white
come there,
kids?
they'd be in Afghanistan,
What
and they
about
might not
white
even be
kids?
born. I might have been dead.
No, that's the thing. That's the
What?
thing. In a way,
No.
what I have done, or I don't know about, like, not in your case, but for example, in my case, what I have done is, me and many other skilled people like myself have left their own country. We are the people with the knowledge and the energy to improve Pakistan or Afghanistan or whatever, but we
Right.
abandoned our country. We came here, and now we're supposed to be like grateful to this country. I mean, of course, we're living here. We're paying our taxes. We're doing all of that. But
Yeah.
if either everybody should be grateful or nobody should be. Do
No.
you do
So
you
wait, that's
expect
too basic, dude.
do you expect
No.
white kids to be grateful?
No.
Why
I
not?
mean, if they are great, well done, because the more gratitude you have in general, the better things will be. But if they're not, I'm not gonna be
If
like,
you're grateful to your state, it's not, your state is not providing you, it's the state's responsibility what they're providing you, all of that.
wait, say that again. If you're what?
What your state is providing you is its responsibility. It's not some favor that they're doing on you.
Yeah, but dude, come on, dude. We don't live in a flipping game. You don't live life through a book. Life is in reality. Just because things should be a certain way, that doesn't mean that it is going to be. I mean, okay, you can
if
say the same
things if
thing
things
about all
should
those
be
failed states.
if things should be a certain way, then we should try to push things towards that.
Yeah, but you can't. You can do that and still be grateful. Like, what the
Okay,
hell?
somebody has said that appreciation and respect are more appropriate terms than gratitude. I agree with that. I
Okay,
agree
I'm
with
not
that.
mad at that, but these are
Not
just semantics.
gratitude,
You know
not
that, right?
gratitude. No, 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 no. Gratitude
It's
and appreciation are two
semantics,
different
dude.
things.
I wouldn't even push back on that guy's point. Who said that? Whatever. Uh, it's the same thing,
Marlon,
dude.
it's
Appreciation,
not the same
gratitude.
thing.
Why?
You're appreciating the fact that this country is good. Yeah. But you don't have to be grateful to anything. If either everybody should be grateful or nobody should be grateful. You should not expect immigrants to be more loyal than the common
It's not a
than
no. But see, look. It's very important, and I know I. It sounds like I do this, but it's very important not to paint a story with broad brushstrokes, whatever the saying is, right? I
Mhm.
can I can have multiple opposing, hypocritical viewpoints at the same time. Not viewpoints, pardon me, emotions. Just because I'm grateful, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be an active member of society and I'm not going to criticize and I'm not going to highlight the fact that Britain had a really horrible impact on my native country's past. Like, I can do both of those things. What the hell? Why can't I do both of them?
In
Like they
that way, I guess you should be grateful for everything that you have.
Yeah, you're damn right
Yeah.
I am. Because you know that whole idea, and I actually talked about this in my Q&A. Dude, people need to be like a little careful with talking about like rights and stuff. Like, there aren't as many rights as you think there are, right? Like, what do you mean a right? I don't even know what people mean when they talk about rights.
Okay.
Like
Okay,
that
so
is
there was
ultimately quite a entitled viewpoint. Like the fact
let's
that I have
leave.
water, I have a roof over my head, dude, I should be doing backflips. That I'm grateful for this.
Okay, I don't know what to say, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
Uh
because you're just an
the
entitled guy, dude. This is what leftism does to you. I should have this. Why? You shouldn't have anything, dude.
Why not?
Because one tsunami could come and wipe all of us out. Shh, be quiet, man.
Could come, yes.
Yeah, yeah, but what do you mean?
It doesn't mean, in terms of that, we should be grateful for everything we have in our life. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but to say that immigrants should be grateful while white kids don't have to be grateful, that's just wrong. That's
Dude,
racism.
you're doing okay. All right. How about this? How about I
You said that.
concede? How about I concede? Okay. No, but I can flip in I can
See, I was
I can
ending the
admit that I was
conversation.
wrong
You
or
would not.
something.
You would not have had to
How about I
concede.
say that white kids should also be grateful? Would that make you feel
Everybody should
good?
be. Everybody should be grateful. That's true. But like that's the thing that if somebody wants to hold a vigil for the queen, they can. If you say that they're a traitor to their creed or their people or whatever, I really don't think that matters. Um, yeah, as citizens of an X, Y, and Z country, that's totally fine.
Okay.
There was a question here.
I want to choose a
Uh,
question.
yeah, okay. You can just tell me and I'll put it on the screen. Apparently, you can do that here.
Okay. People ask
Where's
me a good.
yeah?
There aren't any questions, dude.
Yeah, apparently there aren't. So there is one. Somebody mentioned what's happening. Okay, that's the problem.
What?
Shit, my camera is heating up for some reason. I don't know what the problem is. That it just left a message that it's heating up.
Okay.
Why is it heating up?
We just finished the topic, Muzzy Mike. We were talking
Okay,
about.
so I really should not do that.
All
Okay,
right. Thoughts
so
on thoughts on Ataturk. Go on.
thoughts on Ataturk.
I'll let you
Yeah,
start.
I don't like his brand of secularism. Mostly because it came from France, and everything that came from France is horrible.
Oh wow.
But yes, I think that his brand of secularism went too far, and it generally when something goes that far, it's usually likely to bounce back and come back
Yeah.
uh, in the other direction. So I think that the sort of this religious wave that we're seeing in Turkey right now is a part of that.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I feel like I would say, and this doesn't necessarily excuse him. It's just to say it's just to better understand why he would do something so radical. But I
Mhm.
would say you have to contextualize it, and I feel like much of the Islamic world is far too harsh on my good friend Mustafa Kamal, because if you look at the time period and what was happening around him to other countries in the Islamic world, they they were not having a very fun time in relation to their competition with Europe. They were getting dominated. They were getting their ass handed to them, so to speak. So when Ataturk sits back and he realizes, yo, in order to stop all of this stuff happening to us, we need to be like the people that are dominating us. That is not as crazy of an assumption to make. In fact, I would argue it's definitely not the optimum one because I disagree with it, obviously, but um, that's quite a natural conclusion to reach. Um, so I would say that I feel like the Islamic world are way too harsh on him. Like that dude. I mean, there are lots of things that I disagree with him on, especially big, important, consequential stuff like secularism. But that guy had some absolute flipping. He was a bit of a yeah. He was a very strong character. Very
True.
important.
Yeah, I agree. But like in all of that, good. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so was Ranjit Singh the greatest Punjabi? I'm the only one who replied to this.
No, I want
Uh,
to do it as well.
no. I would like to think that the greatest Punjabi was who do
Imran
I
Khan.
think?
Yeah.
No, Imran Khan is not Punjabi. Well, he's culturally Punjabi, but he's also Pashtun ethnically.
Exactly. So my whole point
Ranjit
is the
Singh,
greatest Punjabi is Pashtun.
he's not the greatest Punjabi. He's a weak ass bitch.
Whoa, dude,
Yeah,
why are you swearing? That's rude.
let's okay for now let's concede that Ranjit Singh was the greatest Punjabi, but I also think Justice Singh Ahluwalia was the
Oh
greatest
yeah.
Punjabi maybe, but okay, we'll talk about that some other time.
Hold on, hold on, hold
uh,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Sorry to hijack this, but can we talk about why you don't like Imran Khan?
there was a question about that, so let's just put that on the screen. I actually don't I didn't say that I don't like Imran Khan. I do like Imran Khan. I voted for him and I will vote for him again.
Okay.
But the problem is that with him is that everybody in Pakistan, every single politician who comes out on top does so with the support of the government of the military.
Right.
And Imran Khan did the same.
Right.
Uh, and I get why he did that. There was no other way to do that. He would not have succeeded in any other way. So I understand why he did that. But the problem, my problem with him still remains. That at the moment, for example, recently he said that we should we should give an extension to General Qamar Javed Bajwa.
Right.
Again, he was the one who passed a law that if you make fun of the military, make memes on the military, you're done. You will go to prison for that. I mean, come on. He did all of that. Imran Khan did all of that, and their problem is not actually with the military. Their problem is actually with the fact that the military is currently not supporting them. Same with Imran
Mm.
Khan. Same with Nawaz Sharif. When the military is supporting Nawaz Sharif, they're well and good. When they're not supporting Nawaz Sharif, the military is bad. We have to break the military dominance. So that's the thing with Imran Khan. I think it's the same. And I mean, obviously, I will vote for him because he's the lesser evil. Unfortunately, that's the truth. But it doesn't mean that I have to like him. So I don't like him. Yeah, anymore. I mean, I used to, but not anymore.
So it's just the fact that he makes concessions to the Pakistani army that you don't like him. Is there anything else?
Mostly yes, but also there's he, for example, pandered to the religious extremism. I get all of that. Get all of that. Like all of that is important, but it just makes him essentially the same as Nawaz Sharif and all the other politicians. Not as bad, but pretty much the same. And that's not really his fault. I think it's a fault of our of the country that we have, the democracy, the kind of democracy that we have. Um,
How does he pander to Islamic extremism?
um, a lot of times he did that. For example, he used to have for example, he used to have this Ahmadi minister. Well, it wasn't a minister. It was actually just an advisor on the economics. And people actually at the time, I remember that this was right around the time that I made my channel. It was actually the same day, 6th of September 2018, that the Ahmadi advisor was taken off his seat because the people were objecting to the fact that there was an advisor who was Ahmadi. And I remember people saying that we'll rather be hungry than let an Ahmadi tell us how to run our economy. And well, I mean,
Bloody
come
hell.
on.
Wow.
So yeah, that's like he did that, a lot of that, and the TLP, sort of, yeah, it's a bunch of these things. Uh,
Okay.
okay, somebody had a question here. There was a question on Salahuddin, some series about Salahuddin. I wanted to address that.
Okay. Just scroll up.
You should, okay, Saddam saying you should water cool your camera. I don't know how to do that, and also it's weird. It really should not heat up as much as it this is the first time it's doing that. Uh,
Salahuddin. I feel like it was on Ertugrul and.
yeah, there was one like that too, but there was one about TV
Oh,
show
guys,
apparently
what are your thoughts on Saladin's
Yeah,
series, which Pakistan
Saladin
and
Sir
Turkey?
Pakistan. Neither
Wait,
of
I
them
didn't
have
know
the.
that.
I,
That's
I would
mad.
say that I would say that neither of them have the right to talk about Salahuddin
Why?
because he was Kurd, and
Who cares,
Kurds,
dude?
No, no, see, Kurds. Turkey is actively oppressing Kurds in its territory, and
Dude,
Pakistan support.
Salahuddin's memory has been appropriated by Arab nationalists for the past 150 years.
That doesn't make it right, does it?
Yeah, but who cares about right, dude? What the
I mean, of
hell?
course, you're oppressing the people, and
Oh,
while
leave it out, man. Not everything is about oppression. I got
it is
Kurdish
about
friends that want to
oppression,
watch
and
that.
also a series on Salahuddin would just be glorifying him and not talking about the nuances of his personality, about his Fatimid era, the kind of shady things he did to come in power, all of that. People would not be talking about that. It'll just be about these men who are, we are men, we make fire, kind of situation.
Again, I say, who cares, dude? I
I
got a
care.
comment, yeah? Listen. I got a comment. What the video I did yesterday on
Uh-huh.
Osman, the founder of the Ottoman Empire. And there was somebody who commented something along the lines of, I don't like Ertugrul and Kurulus Osman because they fictionalize history and whatever. Dude, historical fiction is incredible. Just because it's not exactly like what history said it was, of course, there are negatives to that. The fact that you could be rewriting history in popular imagination, that is a very serious thing. But for the most part, I've never found that to be a problem just because it's not historically accurate. As long as you make some sort of a honest attempt a disclaimer where you say something like that. If you make it historically inaccurate and you pretend like it is accurate, that's a huge problem because now you're straight up lying. But if it's just a dramatization, dude, I'll get the history from the books. The movies, I just want them to be exciting.
Yeah, but there's a difference between taking liberties with something and straight up propaganda, especially when that propaganda could be relevant today. A
What
series
propaganda?
like Salahuddin
Yeah.
simply will paint broad strokes. You know, it'll just be Salahuddin good, servant of Islam, and on the other side you have crusaders who are oppressing the people, and you know, bad. And here you will have Salahuddin, this shiny knight in, and you know, this man of chivalry and all that. I mean, he was a good person, not saying that he wasn't, but this singular sort of one-dimensional characters, I think that that's very dangerous, especially in Pakistani and most of our media. We have the same thing where people are sort of painted in a single stroke. You have either someone who's good, someone is bad. There's no nuance to it, which is not exactly what reality is like. And I really hate that. I think that it's time that we, as people, we sort of become get above that. You know, talk about realistic characters with realistic problems and you know stuff like that.
I hear
Whitewashing
your
history,
point.
removing history. It's really not really good. I mean, with like the Urtugrul series, it's what exactly is it? It's just, I mean, I like to think that Turkey made that series to promote tourism, which I can respect. But
Wait,
if
you
it's
don't like
merely
that series?
the Urtugrul one,
Yeah.
of course I don't like it. It's stupid.
Dude, what are you
Why would
talking
someone
about?
watch that crap?
Because it's amazing. How about that? How about we
Ha-
start at the fact that it's amazing? The music is amazing. The characters are amazing. The storyline is not half bad, and the fact that there's a little bit of history
yeah,
sprinkled in it, Ibn
but
Arabi, all of this,
but the problem
Salahuddin's
is,
nephews. That's
but the
great,
problem
dude.
is that their audience, people have a natural sort of inclination that when you watch something in a movie, people are too dumb to understand that it's not true. People always think that I once had someone argue with me. I read two books on Suleiman the Magnificent, and
Nice.
yet somebody was arguing with me once based on the show that they had watched on Suleiman, and they genuinely thought that it was all completely true, and I was like, seriously? Like, it's a series. And that was the first time that I realized that people actually watch movies and shows and they don't realize this is not actual history. People
Mm,
should understand that, for example, Salahuddin, we consider him a hero of Islam. We should see him as more than that, you know, as a human being who made bad decisions, who did bad things, stuff like that. I think we should, it's about time that we start talking about things like that. And Stormwind, I think you're bringing up your sources from Wikipedia. Please don't do that.
no, that's a good point. To be fair, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I see it as just being entertainment. Um, but you're right. There are people out there that do view it as if it is
I think
like,
most people do that, and I really hate
which
that.
is so. I mean, I don't want to be rude to people, but dude, people, what are you doing? I mean, it's just a movie, no?
Yeah, people should understand that with Ortogrul, like people are talking about how nobody, these people have not, and it's the same I think with a lot of people in different fields. People have not read Ibn Arabi. People don't know what he was like, and yet I'm seeing portraits of him in people's homes in Pakistan because Ibn Arabi is now this Sufi teacher whom they have not read at all. It's the same.
That's
I
hilarious.
think with a lot of figures, you know, like Marx and you know, Fidel Castro, a lot of these different people.
Yeah,
People don't
Che
really read them.
Guevara.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I've never really fully read Marx because the Das Kapital is so long.
yeah.
So yeah.
No,
Uh,
that makes sense. That's a good point.
so what do you do for fun other than history? Do you watch any TV series? What do you do?
What do I do? I watch. In terms of watching, I watch anime more
Uh
than
huh.
anything.
Wow.
Um,
So you have an Asian fetish.
Well, you're the creep that turns everything into a fetish. So if that helps you
it's
sleep at night, fair
it's
enough.
everything is either a fetish or racism with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that just speaks volumes of your own insecurities. But okay, fair enough, and your own repression. Um, but no, yeah. So in terms of fun, I like playing sports a lot. I like series. I'm watching the series. What's it called? Black Box, Bird Box, something like that. which is pretty cool. I started
Really?
watching Thingamajig, the Kevin Spacey one, the dude who's cancelled now. Which one is that? Kevin Costner or
House
Kevin
of
Spacey?
Cards. It's
Yeah, House
Kevin
of Cards.
Spacey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that series, but then it took a weird turn.
Okay, don't kill it for me. Don't kill it for me. But
Yeah,
I just started.
there's really no there's no good shows about politics anymore. I love the first season of Designated Survivor, and I recently started watching what's it called, The West Wing, but it was produced in 1999, and it's just a lot of propaganda. Not propaganda, but like outdated ideas. But yeah, I do watch a lot of shows. Yeah, I like 80% of my personality is based on shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like you shouldn't be admitting that.
I mean, people who have seen all the same shows as me have already probably know. Um, okay, Atun Shade recently made a response to his old video about this topic inaccuracies in history. I have not watched that, but I will definitely will watch that because he always makes good content.
Is he the guy that makes videos on like folklore and wizards and stuff?
I think he has some videos on that. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, no, does he? I don't know.
Um. All right, we got this guy, the cultured Ginny, who keeps asking questions about secularism.
Okay.
Are you for it or against it? What you think, dude? What you think?
Do you want to go first, or should I?
I can go first.
Sure. Go ahead. Ow. That my camera almost went to the floor. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Please.
You know your camera's not working, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Secularism. Am I for it or against it? I'm definitely more against it than for it. How about that?
More
Um,
against it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Why?
Especially in the Islamic world,
Hmm.
because because on paper I don't mind it, right? In fact, forget don't mind it. On paper, I don't. Yeah, it might even be a good idea. But I think when you put it into practical effect, I think it unleashes certain consequences that are just leave society worse off um, in the sense of like opening. How do I say this?
By the way, worser is not a word.
Shush! I'm trying really hard to pick my words correctly so people don't. I, I have to remember I'm not just with friends, so I can't just say anything.
Yeah.
Um, okay. How about this? How about this? I think humans are very incredible creatures. However, there are certain elements of our being, of our psyche, that can be very dangerous. For instance, our desires, even things, you could just bring it back to religion, the seven deadly sins or whatever, greed, right? Lust, wrath, all of these things, right? And
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely essential. And when I say essential, I mean it's literally the difference between life and death, the difference between a civilization going on and putting man on the moon to a civilization that literally kill and eat each other until the last person. I think it is absolutely essential that we have certain forces that restrain us from that, from manifesting some of those potential danger zones that humans can gravitate towards, right? And I think if you look at what's out there, what's available, I think religion is the best force at mitigating that. Of course, of course, my good people, you can religion can be a negative force as well. I mean, just looking, what was it, summer of 2014? Those dudes with the weird beards that were just going around and shooting people for fun in Iraq and Syria. That is an example of that. But on the whole, I think it is the best force to restrain people, restrain the dangers of people. And when you take that out, it's very difficult for people to not fall in to the trap of lust, wrath, greed, whatever, gluttony, become all fat and stuff, whatever, all of that stuff. So on paper, the separation of politics and religion, if it could work, I'll be like, that's great. And the thing is, if you're religious, you should also think that's great. Because I'm being honest with you, in the relationship between religion and politics, there's one loser every single time. It's always religion. Like religion is something that at its base is created on foundations of very beautiful principles. Um, yeah, beautiful and humane and universalistic type principles for the most part. And when you involve something like politics, where greed, lust for power specifically, and things of that nature, and your ego and pride, and all these things, especially because 98%, 99% of politicians are naturally going to be men. Um, I think what ends up happening is you dirty religion. So if on in practice that could actually work, where you would separate religion and politics, but that separation does not have to mean you kind of kick religion to the curb and it just you sweep it under the bed and it becomes some like thing where if somebody comes up to you in a secular society and you say you're religious, they kind of laugh at you like, what? That's so outdated, man. If that doesn't happen, then you have my vote. Okay. But from what I can see, I feel fairly confident that that will happen. Where if you do a separation between religion and power, what will end up happening is people will just look at it and go, oh, wow, we just have more room to be able to do more stuff. We can justify and rationalize more things that we couldn't before because we had these oppressive ideas, religious ideas to keep us down. And now I can just do whatever I want. And what that ends up in, my very good friends, is much of the stuff that you've witnessed before your own eyes in the Western world, in the shape of just pure comprehensive degeneracy. And I mean that word like in every sense of the word. Like I'm talking morality, I'm talking, we throw economics in there for
What are
fun as
you
well,
talking about?
political, psychological, where just people feel as if everything is on the table. Everything can be a social construct. Pedophilia. Oh no, man, but technically, what's the problem with it? Why are you discriminating against pedophiles? Everything just becomes available to you. And I personally think it is absolutely essential for humans, not on an individual level, because if I put like I have like I'll be friends with people that are atheists and whatever, all of that stuff. But on a collective level, I do think you need restraining forces, restraining conservative traditional forces to prevent people from just forgetting that they're smelly, hairy animals at the end of the day, and that they're not gods, right? You can't just mold reality literally into what you want it to be just with words, like and semantics and linguistics. Like that's not how things work. Like there are rules to this game. You have to respect those. Some of those you have to play by. Some of them we can change. Some of them we can change. But there are rules to this game. And
Conservatives always go for pedophilia whenever arguing for moral relativism. Sorry.
dude, what are you talking about? I read something years ago. There was like I don't want to butcher it. I don't think he was a congressman or anything, but he was a politician in specifically the West Coast of America, and he genuinely made a case for that. He genuinely made a case for opening up a debate
That's
for
one example.
huh?
That's one example.
Yeah, but see, I wish we're
In
not like
terms of in terms of
no, but
secularism,
if you
in terms of
see it within the grander picture of all the other things that are happening to do with that kind of a discourse and debate in the Western world, it's not one example. Everything
what
is
exactly what exactly is okay, yeah, I know you went on a rant and everything,
yeah.
but
Go on. I'm pumped up. Go on.
the thing about secularism is that it's, of course, we won't be living in a society that's without laws.
Right.
what would be, I'm very much for secularism on a state level. On a personal level, I really don't care. I mean, you can be whatever you want to be, and that is part of state secularism. The state should not even ask you what your religion is, what you identify as. There should be a set of universal laws that everybody respects, that
Hmm.
everybody adheres to. Those laws can take inspiration from all religions, but they cannot be religious laws. Um, so like that's the whole thing, that you should not force anybody to do anything. For example, hijab. I personally think that hijab should neither be enforced nor banned, because that's not the state's problem. That is a person's personal belief. Again, similarly with what happened in Turkey. That's my problem with the Turkish style of secularism and the French style. For that, religious symbols should be okay to be portrayed, but it really should. And in terms of laws, what is society made of? If you take God out of the equation, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying if you take God out of the equation, then
Right.
yes, everything is fair game. We have to decide what kind of society we want. Pedophilia is wrong, obviously, but people said the same stuff about homosexuality. The point is that we have decided that homosexuality today is, in the Western society, it's normal.
Right.
And that's the point, that we humans, we go through moral changes from time to time. Our moral values change, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so we should not really look at religion, my religion, to guide what somebody else does. In India, for example, a beef ban on a huge scale, really not really good. Secularism should stick to the state, should not guide someone's religion. That's the point. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, no, 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 no. So to be fair, we're talking about something very broad, so this will naturally happen. I don't really disagree with anything you just said, to be honest.
And I know,
But, huh?
I know you don't agree with
Right.
disagree with anything that I've said. So
Yeah.
I don't
No,
have any idea what you
no,
were
no, no. But
saying.
my point. Sorry, sorry. I just want to clarify something. When I'm talking about secularism, I should have said this in the beginning. I'm clarifying is that I'm not saying. By the way, oh, that's hilarious. Everybody, as I was going on my run, everybody probably thought that I'm down for like a theocracy. I'm not, by the way. Like I don't. I mean, a theocracy can work, and I'm not inherently opposed to it, but I'm definitely not like a fanboy of it
No.
in any way, shape, or form. But when I'm talking about secularism in certain parts of the Islamic world, they refer secularism as just a straight up absence of religion in society. It's
In society or in state?
um in society, to be honest with you, dude. In society, like
Okay,
even if you
so
look.
what you mean is an atheist society.
Yeah, so that's the problem. And I only like I the first time I read about secularism was from like Western books and whatnot, right? So I would go around and I used to think secularism was a very good idea and whatnot, right? And when I would say it to like certain old school Muslims and whatnot, they would look at me as if I said, "Hey guys, I've just become an atheist." And I always found that really like, what the hell? But it's because in some areas that word has been misappropriated to literally mean that. But yeah, it's just for me the only thing I want is only thing I feel pretty strongly about in regards to this topic is I don't think it is healthy for a society to be just sucked out of religion, to have no presence of religion. What that presence manifests in, or how intense it is, or how big of a role it is in people's life, there's loads of freedom. You guys decide that. But to just completely like just get rid of, for there to be no presence of religion in society, I'm just coming at this not even from a Islamic perspective or whatever, any of that. From just a straight up philosophical outlook on the chances of your civilization prospering. I think you hurt yourself if there is little to no presence of religion in your society. And I stand by that.
Huh.
Thank you very much.
I don't really agree with that, to be honest.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, I really don't agree with that, but give me a minute. I'm actually, just give me one moment. I'm trying to set up my give me one moment. In the meantime, please keep sending questions.
Do
We'll
you guys think some cultures are inferior to others? Oh, let's see. I wish. go first on this because apparently he's a big fan of racism. What do you think? Okay, so he doesn't want to. Um, I don't, I don't even like that kind of a question, and it doesn't really mean anything like inferior because a lot of this stuff is quite relative, man. Um, I mean, think about the act of recording history, right? Traditionally, written records of history have been prioritized in terms of the way they're viewed, how valuable they are, over things like oral traditions and things of that nature. But that's quite a childish outlook, I think. Whoa, is he Awish?
Okay. Yeah, sorry about this. Let me fix that.
No, he's back. But I think that's quite a basic and primitive outlook on things. Like there are people out there with incredible memories, and there are cultures that take oral traditions seriously. They're they're much more valuable than other people would think, and they should be put. There should be a lot more emphasis placed on them, right? So a lot of this stuff is just relative, man. It's just what one culture emphasizes, another culture might not think is that important. Um, yeah. Useful charts, the main man, the myth, the legend. What's up, Matt? Do you think there could ever be a kind of reform Islam similar to reform Judaism? No. Um, I don't even like Matt. I don't even like the notion of the word reform when it comes to Islam. I actually feel it's quite disrespectful. To be fair, I don't know what Reformed Judaism. I've heard of it, but I've never really done any in-depth research into it. I'm aware of the Reformation, Protestantism, and blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. Um, I read into that quite a decent amount, but the idea of like even bringing up the topic of reforming Islam, I feel like it's quite rude and disrespectful because at the root of I'm getting really emotional. At the root of belief in a higher power or belief in an organized religion is you believing that it is the word of God. For you to admit that there's going to be some sort of a reformation undermines your belief in that original set of belief system in quite a radical way. Um, um,
That's
so,
not exactly what a reform would look like. To be
what would
honest, okay, so for Islam, there's a different and unique, rather unique problem, I think.
go on?
With Islam, what you have is a religion based on the Quran and a Sharia, what's the word? Jurisprudence based on the Hadith, and
Mhm.
all four schools of jurisprudence, if you also include, Shiism and all of its different schools, they're based on human interpretation of Islam. So, like,
Mm.
I think that in terms of reform, you're not looking to question Nauzubillah, God Himself. You're
Oh,
just
okay,
looking to
okay.
question the interpretation of Islam that has come
Oh,
through.
my bad, my bad. Okay, okay, okay. I thought it meant literally like go into the Quran and yeah, play around with stuff like that. But okay, I mean, yeah, but that's bound to happen anyway, no? At some point,
Yeah,
probably.
definitely. I think
No.
that's gonna happen, and that's I think it's already happening. I think the first major players that in history will be considered major players, I guess, are already around. In India, you have with the Deobandi movement and all these different movements in the 18th century,
Yeah.
19th century, and now you have a lot of different people who are using the internet to do that. So I think that that's inevitable, and not only inevitable but also happening at the same time.
Hmm. That makes sense.
So another question. Somebody keeps asking about Ahmad Shah Massoud. Who is that?
He was just some Afghan warlord. We don't need to. He's that guy. You know the saying, the Lion of Panjshir.
Yeah,
Well, not the saying. It's a
yeah,
title. So he was
heard of
that
that.
guy. Apparently, he fought against the Soviets, but he's quite a controversial figure because he's like lionized, so to speak, in Afghanistan. But his legacy is quite dubious because there's like loads of reports of him making secret deals with the Soviets, and he his image has been boasted by the fact that he was a little good looking, spoke a little French, and European journalists tended to favor him during the war with the Soviets. Um, all of that, coupled with his charisma, just gave him quite a positive um, image abroad. So then he was killed 2 days before September 11th, and he's just been like made into some sort of a national hero, even though he was just another warlord who the other warlords are all like criminalized and look demonized in Afghanistan, but he apparently he was special. But we don't need to spend time talking about that guy.
Okay, what about this? Aztec blood sacrifices were objectively worse than the valleys of the Spaniards who conquered them.
Nice. Let's talk about that. That's interesting. What do you
Yeah.
think?
What do I think? I think most of the things that I'm gonna say are pretty cancelish. So
Yeah,
I would like for you to go first because you are the normal person here.
dude, I am definitely not normal. Wait, what are you talking about? I have way more cancelish views than you do. I have to really, really, really work hard on filtering myself, by the way.
You're a
But
conservative, and I think most people who watch my channel and yours are kind of conservative. So I think that
yeah,
they
but most
mostly
people on
agree.
the internet, most people, tiny little detail, most people on the internet are not.
Hmm.
They hunt conservatives. How about that? Um, and by the way, I'm not. I didn't agree. By the way, I didn't just accept that I am a conservative. I'm not necessarily. Maybe I am
You did
even.
that. You did that earlier in the stream, though.
No, I didn't. Did
You
I?
did.
What did I
Yeah.
say?
Watch the stream again. You'll
No.
find out.
The only thing, and I've said this on record because it's important. The only thing that I can say with confidence about my political outlook is that I'm a conservative when it comes to change. That's it. Everything
That
other than that
is
is up in the air. That's it.
that is the
Okay.
definition of conservatives.
What?
That you're against change.
By the I didn't. Hello. See. This is my people. This is the problem. I just realized I'm dealing with a person who has a very low IQ. His name is Siawish Rahman, and yeah, he just whatever, just simple, not nuanced. Just because I said I'm conservative when it comes to change, that doesn't mean I don't like change. It's just it's a really big deal, and I feel like it's a really big issue, so it should be treated with respect instead of just going, "Hey, let's just go get some change." Like, don't be a little child, okay? Very
Okay.
important. People could die. People could get raped and beheaded. Please take this seriously. That's it.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay, so
Aztec,
in terms of the Aztec blood sacrifices,
Aztec
I would
blood
like to say that okay, you can say that they were objectively worse than the values of the Spaniards. But
Why?
what exactly were the values of the Spaniards? Like killing people, enslaving them, all of that. Is that really better? I mean, at the end of the day, how many people were died in Aztec sacrifices, and how many people died because of the Spaniards?
Yeah, yeah, but hold on. I gotta defend the Spaniards here. But that's you can make an argument that that was only because the Spanish were more effective at killing people. They had the means to be able to do that. If the Aztecs were able to kill as many people as the Spaniards were, you don't think they would have pulled the trigger?
I'm not talking about war. We're talking about blood sacrifices here.
Yeah, but how did the Spaniards kill the Aztecs?
Guns.
Right. But
In
like,
war, like what I'm saying is that these kinds of things, these rare examples of civilizing the savages, like for
mhm,
example ending blood sacrifices in the Aztecs, or ending the practice of sati
India.
in India, these are, to be honest, not exactly they're very common, very uncommon, rare examples. I agree with both cases that yeah, blood sacrifices are bad, but I think that the to use these examples and not talk about how many people Spaniards at the end of the day killed. These things are it's kind of yeah, biased, I think.
Yeah, obviously. It's just another case of history is written by the victors.
Yeah, okay. Matt said something that I want to address here. But
Okay.
yeah, I forgot
What did
that
man?
that's he mentioned reform.
Oh, he just cited the Wikipedia. Reform
Yeah,
Judaism.
I will add something. First of all, Matt should watch the video by fellow Vancouverite JJ McCullough. about Wikipedia. And
Oh,
secondly, I think that this kind of reform, okay, evolving nature of the faith, belief in
yeah.
a continuous revelation, and closely intertwined with with human reason. What does that remind you about of in Islam?
Emphasizing the evolving nature of the faith, its ethical aspects, and belief in a continuous revelation which is closely intertwined with human reason. Mutazilite?
Yeah, very
Is it
much so.
Mutazilite?
Yeah, that is exactly the argument that Al Mamun made. Only
Mm,
his in this argument, basically, he said that I have the right to interpret this, the ethical aspects and all that. I hold the right to do that. But he believed that, yeah, nature is evolving. That was the whole debate with the createdness of the Quran. That sort
mm.
of already kind of happened in Islam, but yeah, didn't. At the end of the day, it
I
failed.
feel like that would open up more. That would open up more portals for trouble down the line in terms of splintering groups, or certain charismatic figures coming and saying, "Hey, I'm the new guy. We're going to create something new here."
Yeah, I think in our current society, a reform wouldn't work. I think reforms work not because of religious doctrine, but rather because of reform in society, we reform religious doctrines. For example, if homosexuality had not been normalized in the West the way that it already had been, and then the church stepped in and sort of tried to reconcile it with the Christianity, if that hadn't already happened, then the church wouldn't have done it. If it was the other way around, if the church had tried to normalize homosexuality before it was normal in the society, I think that would have failed. So I think that it's reform in society that actually leads to reform in religion, and not the other way around.
Mm, I like that. No, I like that. The conservative within me likes that.
Hmm. He has a couple of brain cells, I guess.
Hey,
Uh, what do you see any interesting questions?
um, should a Jew be allowed to stay in Palestine after liberation? Bloody hell!
Let's
Why
not
is that?
talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why it's the first one I decided to read. Opinion on Mullah Nakibullah and Mullah Qudratullah. I've barely just heard of those guys.
What languages can you guys speak? What languages can you speak?
Dude, I used to be on my when I was good, I could speak four. Now I'm on like one and a half, like 1 and 3/4. Uh,
So that does not include your English, right?
no, that's the one is the English. Be
Oh,
quiet.
really?
Okay.
That's
I used
generous.
to be able to like properly speak English, Pashto, Farsi, and Spanish. And when I say used to, I don't mean like 10 years ago. I mean like 2 years ago. And now English, Pashto, but honestly, the last like 2 years, I've barely even touched my Spanish and Farsi, which I need to flip and do because
You
I'm
can
just
speak for Spanish.
yeah, dude. I mean, yeah.
Nice.
¿Hablas español?
Poquito.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Yeah. In my case, I speak, I guess, the languages of my motherland, basically. Punjabi, Urdu, English, a
Dude,
little bit of German.
I feel like that's just one language. Urdu
No,
and
it's not.
Punjabi, no?
It's not. These are completely different languages.
I don't know. Wait, wait, wait. Completely different?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot of people who speak Urdu, who grew up speaking Urdu, they don't actually they can understand Punjabi mostly because their parents or grandparents spoke Punjabi, but they actually cannot speak it. So it's
Wait,
not
wait,
really the
wait.
same
How
language.
different are you being this is new to me. Um so they're not mutually intelligible?
They are, I guess, quite a bit. I think it's kind of like, I'm not sure if this is a correct analogy, but they're kind of like Italian and Spanish. You can understand each other, but you cannot speak each other. This is a language.
Wow, that's way different than I thought it would be. So, hold on. Say like two sentences
Hmm.
in Punjabi and then say the exact same two sentences in Urdu.
What is a?
Just say anything. I don't care.
Hmm. I cannot come up with any sentence right now.
Say Tariq is a horrible person, but he's actually fairly smart, so I like talking to him. Say something like that.
That's a lie. I really cannot do that.
Okay, whatever. Just say something rude about me. I don't care. Just say something.
Um. Yeah, I really cannot do that. It's fine.
So what? You can't speak Punjabi? I'm just
I can
outing
speak
you
Punjabi. I
in
just don't
public.
know what to say at the moment.
Okay, okay. Say my name is
Okay,
Siawish.
let's
I'm
say Storm
25
Witch
years
said
old.
that most Aztecs died from disease. So in Punjabi, it would be like bote Aztec bimari nal maresi. And in Urdu, it would be like Zada Aztecs bimari se mare the.
Wait, do that again. Do that again. Sorry, sorry, sorry. So do it in
Okay, so like
Punjabi one time.
bote Aztec bimari nal maresi. And in Urdu, it would be like Zyada Aztec bimari nal maresi.
That was
Sorry, in
pretty
Urdu, it would
similar.
be
I'm
like
not gonna lie.
Zyada. No, 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 sorry, sorry. In Urdu, it would be like Zada Aztec bimari se mare the.
Okay, nice. I actually understood that. Go on.
Yeah, because a lot of words, I guess, come in, but the sentence structure can be quite different from in time to time. But a lot of
Okay,
words, like
do Urdu.
Farsi.
Do Punjabi. Sorry, I like Punjabi. The sound of it. Do more sentences.
Um,
It sounds way different than I thought it would. What the hell?
it's quite different.
Go on. Give me more.
Okay, I can. I can. Why am I blanking out on this? Okay,
Stop blushing.
okay. सच बोलेगा तो मिलू 295 जे करेगा तरक्की पुत हेट मिलूगी.
It sounds a little like Telugu, like South Indian. There's a little
Mm,
bit of it to it. I didn't expect that. Okay.
I don't know. I can't really say that. It's more like it has more Farsi in
What,
it. Quite
Punjabi?
a lot of Farsi, yeah. I
I thought it
sometimes
was
think
just
that it actually has more Farsi than Urdu does. I mean, that's a very controversial thing to say, but I think sometimes a lot of Punjabi words that we say have Farsi root than more than I expected.
wow.
Yeah, so it's a very beautiful language. But the problem is that we don't have, in terms of the poetry, I guess it has sort of branched out. We have the Sikh, no, not Sikh, but like the Indian Punjab poetry, and we have Pakistani Punjab poetry, and they're both written in different scripts, so it's very difficult for us to read those.
Oh, see, that was my next question. The script for the Indian Punjabi, I'm guessing it's in the Sanskrit
Yeah,
style script.
yeah, it's called Gurmukhi.
Gurmukhi, yes,
It's
that's it.
yeah, it's different.
Nice.
Yeah, I speak that. Also, I speak a little German. I can order a pizza in Turkish, not Turkish, Italian. So like a, yeah, a little bit.
I see. I wish. Can you pin comments?
On in YouTube.
Yeah, the live stream.
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you pin my food channel, please?
Wow,
Please,
you're always
please,
doing this.
please, 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 please.
It's fine. I'll do it.
I really appreciate it. Um,
Okay, the problem with the language thing is I'll just explain that it's difficult for me to switch languages very quickly. So that's the reason I'm usually blanking out in sentence. And also, I generally think in English, so that's the reason that I sometimes do that.
okay.
Very colonial of me, but like I generally think in English.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We answered this guy on thoughts on Ahmad Shah Massoud. Okay,
Yeah.
useful charts I think said something.
No, I think that was the thing before.
No, he said something again. Point is that Islam seems to be slower to keep up with societal norms than say both of those have large Islam. No, I would say that that's not a problem. Islam, Christianity, or Judaism kind of problem. I think that's a more of a East versus West kind of problem. I think the Muslim society is slower, if you want to say that, because the society is slower, not because Islam has some sort of inherent thing that makes it that way. I mean, keep in mind that Islam and a large part of Islamic world was under colonial rule for like 200 years, and we simply did not develop any new ideas. We did not import any ideas. We were just, So I think that that's more of a society thing. I mean, when you talk about, for example, have you put the comment? Tariq?
Yes. Do you want me to do it
I don't
again?
see it anywhere.
621. Lysander finally got the message. Here, I'll just do it again. Um,
So what was I saying? Sorry.
um, I think you finished your point. You were going to say something else,
Yeah, maybe.
but you were going to pin my
Uh,
comment.
okay. What Pashtun tribe are you from? You personally.
Oh, should I
I did
say,
not see. I'm still not seeing your comment.
dude?
The
How
one
many
that you
times
wanted
you
me
want
to
me to post it?
pin. What is that?
Won't let you pin. So
No,
why did I go on this live stream? If you can't
I
do
can't
this,
even see that. Okay, I'll just put. Can you send me the link?
okay, okay, nice. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp or something.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Um, what Pashtun tribe? Yeah, that's fine. I can tell you that. I am from. So tribe is Ghilzai, and
You're
then
Hilzi?
yeah, Ghilzai. You know, like the Khilji,
Yeah,
um,
I know.
in
That's
India.
why I was.
Apparently, they're like connected to the Ghilzai tribe. I just sent it to you on WhatsApp, dude. Um, and then clan is Andal.
Klein is what?
Andal. It's a
Okay, I
letter that
don't know how to say
you
that.
only have in. Actually, it would be interesting to see if another language has that letter. It's the re. You know the r, the re, and then you just put a little circle at the bottom of it, so it makes a re.
Like an L and an R sound.
Very nice, exactly. So
We don't
andal
have that.
is spelled Andar in English, but it's not that. If the closest would be that, you know, the first people in Game of Thrones, the Andals,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like that, but it's actually Andal.
I'm not okay.
Indeed.
Okay.
This
Um,
why is it wonky?
is communist Marxist theory failed to do in practice for because of cognitive biodiversity? No, it has not failed. It generally just CIA overthrows them.
Who overthrows
Before
them?
Tariq says anything, we're
I want
moving
to talk
on.
about this. I want to talk about this. No, what are you doing,
We're
dude?
moving on.
Wait, what? Why?
Do you want to talk about blasphemy,
I
or
mean,
should we
I
move
will,
on?
but I want to talk about why communism is stupid
No,
more.
we're not talking about that.
Dah, you undercover capitalist.
No, I don't want to talk about that because you're gonna be wrong, and we're gonna be here for like hours.
And you know I'm gonna go on a run
And
where
also, the logo on your hat, it kind of looks like a hammer and a sickle.
no, this is just an R or something.
Yeah, but it looks like a.
Who cares? Okay, who cares?
Okay,
Um,
apparently Malayalam has that letter. That's interesting.
no
And also,
way.
the channel's name is Did You Know? So it's like pretty cool.
I've heard of that language.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Really? Really?
Malayalam is it's the language that A.R. Rahman speaks, right? It's his mother tongue.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think that's why I know it. Um,
Okay, what biradri are you? I'm Arai.
what the hell is that?
It's kind of like tribe, I guess. We call them castes,
Okay.
but it's more like a tribe. I mean, it's a caste when there's a hierarchy, which
Yeah.
exists. Not gonna lie, which exists in Muslims as well. But like generally in Pakistan, we're starting to move forward from that. So the castes are sort of yeah changing.
Outdated.
It's more of a tribe now, I guess.
Okay.
Do you look forward to 2070 when the number of Muslims in the world will outnumber Christians for the first time in history? What do you think about that?
Not really, man.
Yeah.
Muslims can be quite annoying.
And it's an evolutionary change, not a revolutionary change. Not much of a change.
Damn. See, I wish you got bars today, man.
I'm always
No, you're
whatever that word
not.
is.
No, you're not. Sometimes you just be talking absolute bakwas.
Okay, what about this? Absolutely, I would do that. Fifty
Wait, how
thousand
much is that?
dollars, I would.
50,000?
Yeah.
Wait, do I get something? Because I'm not gonna just let him kiss me on the cheek,
Nah,
bro.
you just yeah. It's, I mean, obviously, I'll have to say no homo, but after that, but I will definitely do that.
No, but you have to give me a cut. There's no way I'm gonna let you just do that. And you
We'll
make
talk
money on
about that. I'll buy you something.
yeah, you'll buy me a 25,000 pound Rolex. How about that?
Nah. Uh, A.R. Rahman is Tamil. I did not know that. I thought he was Malayalam. I know he's from Chennai, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Tariq is looking cute. Yeah, true.
Oh, that's my boy. Harry, what's up, bro?
Okay, how did Islam dealt with the caste system in India when they first started to establish their root in India? Do you want to take this?
I got no idea, dude. What the hell? What do I look like? An encyclopedia?
I don't know. You look like you know.
No, it's a very interesting question, but it's super specific. How did Islam deal with the caste system in India when they started to establish their rule? Well, Islamic rule in India was far more delayed than in the rest of the world, right?
Yeah,
Like in the early Islamic expansion, let's just say within the first 100 years, post 622, where did they get up to? Punjab and Sindh.
Sindh basically. Punjab too. Not really.
Yeah, a little bit of Punjab, yeah, but that was basically it. And then the Indo-Gangetic plain, like Uttar Pradesh and going towards Bihar and all of those areas, that's post what's his name?
Delhi Sultanate.
Yeah, Delhi Sultanate. But just before that, the Ghurids, Battle of Tarain, beginning of 1200s, and then yeah, start of Delhi Sultanate. So it was a slow process. I'm guessing it dealt with it in quite a antagonistic manner because the idea of a caste system, even though a hierarchy is very natural to all humans, the idea of a caste system sounds very antagonistic to Islam. You know, I guess.
It sounds antagonistic, but in practice, no. Mostly Muslims let these societies, the caste system, remain, and to this day it remains. Muslims also have a caste in India, especially. It is very much, and even in Pakistan, castes are there is a hierarchy of castes.
Yeah.
So Muslims didn't really deal with it in any way. A lot of people, if you had talent, I guess you could move up. It was easier to move up in Islamic society than it was to move up in a Hindu society.
Mhm.
But in general, caste system remained. I mean, the foreigners, they made up the highest tier of castes, but in general people remained. I mean, if you had talent, if you were able to do stuff like that, then you were able to move up. But yeah, the caste system remained. Wait, Tariq, sorry, Matt has a question for you,
Let's go. Let's go.
which I actually just asked you today. There we go.
Yo, firstly, man, I kind of, I got a lot of respect for you, dude, but I kind of resent that. What are you trying to say? Am I not buff? What do you mean? I mean, I might not be a fight. But seriously, how come you're not a buff fighter like your brothers? I just learned about them the other day. Um, it never really intrigued me in the same way that it did them. It definitely did intrigue me. Like honestly, my number one hobby in life, and nerdy as it sounds, is history. And then number two, not that far away from history, is martial arts. Yeah, like just all of the martial arts together combined, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, all of that stuff. I do like that a lot. So we're similar in the sense that we do have that interest. Is that they had more of an interest in it than I did. Yeah, I don't know if that does that answer your question.
Yeah,
It's just like an interest thing. And the thing is, Matt, you got to remember, and this goes for everybody, because one question that does kind of annoy me, and maybe this shouldn't annoy me, is when people ask me that question, like Matt, the question that Matt just asked, but they ask it in a certain tone, which is very immature and childish, where they make it seem as if fighting's like, yay, it's just like a new career path, where but in reality, fighting is one of those things where it's very dangerous, obviously. So if you're like 50% into it, or 60, 70, 80, 90, 95% into it, you're putting yourself at danger just by the fact that you've got a little bit of doubt in there. So my point is, fighting is not one of those things where you can kind of go, oh, I can be like a historian and then like a fighter. Yeah, I can juggle both of them. It doesn't kind of work that way, because there's guys out there like my two brothers who are hungry, and they'll put all of their eggs in one basket. And when push comes to shove, versus you versus them, when it matters, the fact that you left a little door in the back of your head open, like, I don't really properly want to be a fighter, it will metamorphosize in the fight, and it will end up with you A, losing, and B, God forbid, getting really, really hurt. So fighting isn't one of those things. And thankfully, I've been able to witness this because I do train, by the way. Um, and I have trained with professional MMA fighters, and I've seen and lived with two professional MMA fighters. So I know that it's just not one of those things that you kind of do a little bit like as a little hobby, you know? I can train wrestling and jiu-jitsu as like fun and just as lessons without the intention of competing, but to actually go out and fight, that's a very serious thing. And you can't just, hey, why didn't you become a fighter? Like, bro, it's a serious, serious endeavor. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah,
Okay, what Tariq so eloquently put forth is that he was lazy and that turned him into the black sheep of the family.
I'm not lazy, dude. I play a lot of sports. Actually, I'm gonna play football straight after this. I play a lot of sports. I'm not lazy.
No, not
I,
like
for
that.
a
In
long
that
for a
sense,
long time, I genuinely thought I was quite lazy, and I was very annoyed at myself for that. But I've come to realize that I'm not a lazy person. I put in a lot of time and effort into the things that I do. I have loads of other flaws, serious ones that I'm
you're
working
very
on.
defensive about the fact that you're not an MMA fighter. We should move on. Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to like give you an honest
Yeah, I'm
response to this Matt
sorry about that.
instead of like just bantering. Shut up, Siawish. Just because I take Matt more seriously than you, don't get all sad about that.
Nah, it's fine. We both know the truth.
What's the truth?
You know the truth.
What is the truth? Tell me the
Okay,
truth.
there's
I want to
a
know the truth.
you know the truth.
What is it?
Leave it.
My friend's just WhatsApping me that I'm letting my insecurities out. I'm exposing myself. What am I?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, that you're being
Yeah.
very defensive about that.
Yeah. Am I insecure? Maybe.
Okay, what
We're all,
else?
we're all insecure about stuff, don't know?
Sorry?
We're all insecure about stuff, dude.
I mean, we're all insecure about stuff. That's
Why are you
true.
making fun of my insecurities, dude?
No, I'm not making fun. I didn't realize you were insecure about it till we came to that topic.
I don't know, man.
And now useful starts. I'm grinding. You're good at it. See, that's his Canadian
Thanks, Matt.
charm,
I appreciate
being
you.
lying to be nice, even though it's not true.
Shut up. What are you talking about? It is true. I am good at history.
Uh, what else is there? Thoughts on nationalism in the Islamic world? Do you want to tackle this?
Um,
Uh,
nationalism. I feel like nationalism is quite a misunderstood topic. Um, and honestly, I might get some stick for this. Underrated, mad underrated, right? Because, and to be fair, you know that thing that we were talking about before with the historical movies that shape popular imagination. And I realized that you made a good point about that. I just realized that the same thing, I should have known this before, but the same things happened with certain instances or certain ideas, pardon me, like nationalism. Like whenever people talk about nationalism, I feel like the first thing that comes into their mind is Hitler, right?
mhm.
Or just like far right, certain extreme examples like that. But it's not just that. Like that's just a very extreme incident of it. Um, I think nationalism can be very beneficial for a country, especially it depends at the stage they're at in their country's development. If you're fighting some sort of a colonial war, you're trying to resist a colonial power, I think it's great. If you are in the embryonic phase of nation building, again, it can be very, very powerful in terms of bringing together people and giving them a certain sense of direction. There are naturally, like with any idea, going to be certain flaws that you have to be aware and alert to. The the othering that is an integral element of some of these ideas. Like I'm Afghan, and I make, say, for instance, Pakistan or Pakistanis the other, right? The hate or the negative energy that I channel towards them, that could be a very dangerous thing, and I have to be very on top and alert to that. But for the most part, I guess it depends on the stage of your country's development that you're in, but for the most part, I think it can be a useful tool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am generally not personally nationalistic or like anything like that. But yeah, I think that nationalism is good for states that are very, homogenous in terms of ethnic lines. For example, Germany, stuff like, well, Germany is not homogenous anymore. That okay, Germany should not be mentioned when it comes to nationalism because that just, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, let's say if you have a state of Punjab, let's say, that
Yeah.
could be nationalist because it would be a single ethnicity. But then again, we would have religious problems there. Okay, here's a very nice comment that I really appreciate.
Go.
Nerds are just mega mind intellectual MMA fighters. Like that just spells it for
Yo,
us.
what is this? AFGZ. Nerds are just mega mind intellectual MMA fighters. Wait. Nerds are just mega mind intellectual. I don't know what this means, but it sounds pretty cool. It sounds
Yeah.
pretty lit. Nerds are just mega mind.
Okay, here's Stormwind who's saying he's more physically fit than you are. I didn't. I called him lazy. I didn't say that I wasn't lazy. I just said that he's lazy.
Yo, Stormwind, I got mad love for you. Thank you for backing me up.
Wow.
I appreciate that, dude. I hope
Also,
you
this
know.
guy Stormwind is so tall that I have a photo with him in Spain,
No, I've
and when I
seen it.
show it to someone, I just look like a baby next to him.
How tall are you, Siawish?
I'm six, like
You're
six
six
feet, and
foot.
he's like 6'7" or something.
Holy moly, dude! What the hell?
Yeah, he's really tall.
Why am
Swedes.
I so short, man? I got some bad genetics.
Nah, it's just the food deficiency in Afghanistan and all that.
Dude, that was a
What?
bit
Can I
rude.
stop being racist for a
Dude,
moment?
you know it. That's literally one of the main reasons why I think I am short. Because when I was younger, I
Probably.
didn't have a lot of food.
Yeah, that's
So
sad.
all banter aside, like that's actually quite disrespectful.
Sorry.
I feel
See,
like you
that's
should send me
another
$100 just for
insecurity
that.
of yours. But yeah, the amount of food, like for example, Swedes are so tall because the last time they saw a famine was like, I don't know, 200 years ago. And also they don't share food with guests, so that's also another reason.
Damn, bunch of savages.
Okay, when is the fall of liberals expected? It cannot come soon enough. I'm really hoping for that. But unfortunately, when they fall, then the other side comes up. And we never do. Do you see any other interesting question?
There's loads of them, man.
Tries too hard for what? I don't get that.
Tries too hard for what? What do you mean?
I don't know. Um,
What is the political future of South Asia? Which um
there's a comrade. Walaikum assalam, comrade. You're Italian, so I'll say, how do you say hello in Italian? Ciao.
um ciao. You know that's literally bye.
Sorry?
I think ciao means bye.
Yeah. Like everybody in Europe sort of does that. In Germany, people also say ciao.
How tall are you, Tariq? I'm 5'9", dude. I'm not happy about it. Let's be honest.
Do you think Sikhs and Muslims get along more easily than Hindus and Muslims? I do think that. First of all, Sikhism is a very tolerant religion, so that's also one of the reasons. But also, like Punjabi Muslims and Punjabi Sikhs, I think they would be able to get along very easily if we had people in charge who were like who cared about this stuff and didn't deliberately try to start a war. What do you think, Tariq?
What do I think? I guess I would agree. I mean, there's more commonalities, even religiously, right? Like
Yeah.
Sikhism draws certain motivation or inspiration from Islam.
Hmm.
Closer proximity in a lot of places, right? Like Sikhs and Muslims living together. I like the point that you made about Sikhism being a fairly pacifist religion, even though in its early history, um, it had loads of warrior leaders. But
I didn't say pacifist. I said tolerant.
tolerant, pardon me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Especially now more so than anything. Now it looks like that whole intercommunal problem between Hindus and Muslims in India seems to be reaching boiling point, man.
Yeah,
Or
and that
moving
that's
towards that.
I think that's a problem that was like deliberately started rather than something that naturally appeared. I
Yeah,
think it wouldn't have been this bad if it wasn't actively like created by the government.
man, this is why politicians. I just
Yeah.
don't like that profession.
Okay, what was worse for Afghanistan in your opinion, the Soviets, America, or the Taliban?
The Soviets, America, the type. Oh, this is not even. It's not even a question. It's like if there's any differences of opinions in this question, it will be annoying,
Who would you say was the worst?
dude. It's offensive to even say. It's so obvious. What do you mean?
No, it's not. It's not as obvious as you think it is.
No, it absolutely is. The Soviets. It's not even like worth talking about. Like we literally have to factor in. It's like a factor of 10 minimum.
All
Like
right, well,
absolutely minimum.
there you have the answer. I'm not going to talk about
America,
this.
honestly, this is gonna sound a little controversial, yeah. Do I want to stoke bare controversy because I've said a bunch of stuff? You know what? I'll do it. One more, just for good luck. America, they did loads of good in Afghanistan. Spoiler alert. Like, right? Obviously, the idea of a foreign country coming into your country and putting, soldiers there is going to do something to your pride in terms of sovereignty and things of that nature. But if you just step back and look at it pragmatically and you see the stupid, absolutely stupid amounts of money that they were pouring into that country, and they don't need to be pouring that money in there from the kindness of their heart, so to speak. But as long as you know that the consequence of them pouring that money in will be a general uplift of people's standard of living, then the point still stands that that is an overall positive impact on the country. Like, dude, I left Afghanistan in the year 2000. It looked like a scene out of Mad Max. Genuinely, uh, like genuinely, in every sense of the word. There was hyperinflation, there was abandoned tanks, there was destroyed houses, people living in destroyed houses everywhere you went. The idea of roads was like funny, like a road, what the hell is a road, right? I go back in 2006, significantly better. I go back in 2013, I can barely recognize a place. There were roads everywhere I looked, right? Um, and yeah, obviously they did loads of horrible things like drone attacks on weddings and torturing innocent people that they thought had links with extremist Islam, but they were just like normal farmers and whatnot in prisons. And loads of other things, loads of horrible things. But just because they did horrible things, that should not blind you to the positive things that they also brought in. Like comparing those two. The Soviets, honestly, when I was making my Soviet documentary, this is why we shouldn't talk about anything related to Afghanistan because I'll just hug the flipping mic. I'll wrap up in like 30 seconds. I'm sorry. But when I was doing my research for that video on the Soviet-Afghan War, 40-minute one, you can check that out on my channel. I came across one dude who called it a genocide. He said that the Soviets committed a genocide. And I'm not a big fan of people using words like trauma or genocide or stuff like that. Not because I dislike or I think those words are funny, it's because the opposite. I have a huge reverence for those words. So I think the standard should be much higher. Like just because you break a little nail, you shouldn't say, oh, I went through trauma, right? So when I heard that historians say, oh, the Soviets did a genocide, I was like, dude, what the hell? I did my research and I looked at some of the figures and I looked at the policies that the Soviet High Command allowed in Afghanistan. And by the end of it, honest to God, I was like, I still think it's a bit blown out of proportion, but it's not the craziest thing I've heard. So they can't even be compared. And then the Taliban, dude, when the Taliban first came into power, like plenty of Afghans were celebrating because the mayhem and the chaos of the Afghan civil war from 92 to 96 was over, where warlords are just competing with each other. Obviously, over the next few years, as people realized, oh, what the flip is going on here? These lot have no idea what to do, and they're being oppressive and harsh. That was pretty bad, but you can't even compare them. Like, honestly, if you think it's either America or Taliban, I would prefer that you keep it to yourself because you're being rude, you're being disrespectful. Like, it's not even close. It's like imagine somebody rapes you, and then another person slaps you in the face, and then somebody asks you, "Hey, which one did more damage to you?" Like it's not even close. You know what I mean? I'm finished, by the way. Sorry. Now you can have the mic.
See, that's the Western. That's what Western propaganda does to your mind.
What are you talking about, you filthy commie? This has got nothing to do with ideology.
Ah,
If I was a communist, I would hope I would say this.
well, still, Western propaganda did that to your mind.
Oh, leave it out.
Okay. Somebody had asked about something very interesting here. I forgot. Oh yeah, who's your favorite Urdu poet? Okay, let's start chronologically. Obviously, at the top is Mir Taki Mir. Then comes Mirza Ghalib. Both of them are the OG lords and boss or whatever the cool kids are using. Faz and Faraz, obviously. All of them have their own style and taste, but yeah, Mir Taki Mir is always at the top, and then Mirza Ghalib. Then it's kind of a tie between Faz and Faraz.
I don't really care about poetry like that, man. Poetry
Yeah.
is for soft people. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I
You
actually
do
like.
realize that a lot of Muslim kings
I'm
were
joking. I'm
poets.
joking.
Even
Joking.
Mehmed the Conqueror was a poet.
No, I'm joking, dude. What the
I
hell?
was just yesterday. I was reading some poetry written by Shah Ismail of the Safavid
Nice.
dynasty, and in it he uses every single theme of the Islamic Messiah. He calls himself the living Khidr. He
Mm.
calls himself Jesus, the son of Mary. He calls himself the 12th Imam. He calls himself Mahdi. Basically, every single messianic theme, he uses it for himself.
I like his poetic name, right? Khatai.
Yeah,
Is that him?
Khatai. Yeah,
That
that
means
was him.
wrongdoer, right?
It's really cute. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's pretty cool.
okay. John Eliot. John Eliot has written two couplets that I like, and that is basically it. And after that, that's just gone. Uh, Amir Khosrow, obviously the king, but I haven't read him enough. Uh, is this guy gonna really defend Soviets just because he's a communist? No, no, I didn't say that. Um,
No, I don't think he knows. Like, if you don't know about a topic, no. I'm trying to come to your defense. If you don't know so much about a topic, then you're just. The best thing you can do is just not talk about it.
I actually did not say that the Soviets were good or anything, though.
Yeah.
I
He
didn't
was just
defend the
bantering.
Soviets. I just disagree with you saying that the Soviets were the worst thing that ever happened to Afghanistan out of the three choices. But I
Yeah,
didn't say they weren't bad.
no, but dude, that's not a good thing to flip and push back on. Like, that's not very smart of you
Yeah,
to push
this
back on.
is very funny. Ismail was pretty cool, but still, yeah.
Damn.
Um. Okay, Marcus Aurelius is the best philosopher. Yeah, of course. If you're a Roman, what is the term for like Roman people who like Roman history very much?
Roman file,
No,
Romophile.
it should be something more offensive than that.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but whatever.
You do realize that communism is against the tenets of Islam. How can you be a communist and a Muslim? Do you think that
Your
that's true?
name is Sugar Daddy. Why are you talking?
Sugar Daddy Khairuddin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Oh, I like that very much. Very cool name. Thank you.
That's weird. That's creepy.
No. That's not like the. I'm definitely gonna change my name to something like that.
Please don't. For the love
Something
of
like
God, don't.
Sugar Daddy Alauddin. Something like
Don't
that.
do that.
Definitely doing that. But
Do you
what do
think
you think about? Do you think communism goes against Islam?
I don't think it necessarily. I mean, communism, yeah, but I mean, obviously, because at the root of communism, they take quite an antagonistic stance against religion in general. But I think having an not socialism, but like having an appreciation for socialist principles. Not only do I not think it goes against, I think it can work. I think the two can like bolster each other. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's plenty of elements within Islam that are quite, I mean, I guess you can call them socialist. I don't like giving left wingers, or I don't like giving any ideology props for like appropriating certain principles. It's like when you're talking to a feminist and you tell them, "Yo, I don't like feminism, but I actually care about women's rights." In their heads, they're like, "Oh, if you like, we are the champions of all that stuff. So if you're not with us, that means you're naturally against women's rights." Where it's like, what? Who gave you that right? But anyway, I like. I think you can do that, but not communism. Like certain socialist.
Yeah, I think most religions are inherently left leaning, very much so.
Yeah, but that's quite. See, this is one of the reasons why I don't like doing that. Is because that's quite a modern, damn near anachronistic outlook on it. Because you're just describing it with modern words. It's like left leaning. Like it's not left leaning. Like stop giving it labels. It's just it is what it is. It just cares about people.
See, you just don't want to admit that, but that's fine. So, how do you think? What do you think about say Hikmah? Since you look white, how often do people actually think you're Afghan or Middle Eastern in general?
White. Look white. Oh, okay. I don't know if I look white. Yeah, people. What do I get? I get Israeli. I
Obviously,
get. Huh?
obviously, I said.
Okay. I get Turkish. I've gotten some like Latin American, Spanish, Colombian, whatever.
Hmm.
A lot of Turkish, if I haven't said that. I've got some like Syrian. I got Iranian, Afghan, and that's it. That's it. Greek? No, no. Yeah, just those five, I think. Um. So yeah, but
Yeah.
people never think I'm like white, like Western European
Yeah. So basically, you've been confused for every single ethnicity other than white.
or black or Oriental or flipping
Oh yeah, that's I missed
or
those ones. Sorry.
Russian or Central Eight Kazakh or something. Loads.
Yeah, I'm usually confused for being Indian, and every single time somebody
No, but dude,
like
you are
pronounce,
Indian though.
yeah, ethnically, I guess you can say that. But like every time, and every time someone, especially if it's a girl, they always say, "Yeah, India," something like that. Okay, and then the second or third thing that they talk about is the fact that they were harassed online by some Indian guy. Oh, and so yeah. But the only time that I have ever gotten a positive response about that is when someone mentioned that they liked A.R. Rahman and someone else mentioned that they liked Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. That's the only
Mm,
time that I've gotten some positive response.
nice. Dude, I'll be honest with you, I'm a fan of Pakistan. It's just I don't like the way your leaders have done things. Uh,
I would say
but
the
yeah,
same about Afghanistan. But
what?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
yeah, dude. Pakistani culture and stuff, dude. You know, I used to root for the Pakistani cricket team up until Afghanistan formed their own one. Like,
Yeah,
it was like, yeah, I lived in Pakistan. Like Urdu, the language, I got mad love for it. The food, specifically, I guess Punjabi, to be honest. Um, and even the country looks beautiful, man. But it's just your
yeah.
flipping politicians are.
Honestly, it I would really want to like live there, you know, have a career there, everything, but it's just yeah, it doesn't really seem to be in the cards.
Matt from Useful Charts is like socialism for the win. Matt, don't do
Yes,
this. No, don't
yes.
make this anti holy devilish alliance against me. I
And
know you're one of the good guys.
Matt himself is a capitalist. Sorry, he likes to call it small businessman, but it's the same thing.
I like that. I like that. I have a friend who outwardly is very communist, and then yo, this person is asking fire questions today. This is the
Yeah,
third time you
I like that.
featured. The West, for the most part, is in its woke everything is a social construct that should be abolished era. Do you think the West will eventually revert back to traditionalism down the line? Yo, she's after my heart. I'll let you answer this whilst I turn the lights on because the sun is setting in Gran Britannia.
Yeah,
Go on, answer
finally, it's what 300 years overdue.
it.
Yeah, the sun is set here too. Okay, so in Woke era, no, I don't think that it will revert back to traditionalism. In the past, whenever something like this has happened, whenever people have found themselves distanced from religion, they haven't really uh, bounced back to the same religions. What they've done is generally new religions propped up. But now I really don't think that new religions are going to prop up like that. So I don't think that it's going to revert. I think that we're headed towards a more woke and secularized world.
I would disagree with Xiaowish wholeheartedly. Like, if I could disagree with him anymore, it just wouldn't be possible.
Oh,
Like literally the complete opposite of what he said. Um, um, I do think the West will revert back to some form of traditionalism because it has to. Um,
why?
because it has to. It
Why?
has to. Because
Why?
I hope it. Well, I was gonna say I hope it doesn't, but I low key kind of do hope a little bit it does. But
You're a conservative.
no, no, no. Because listen, the reason why the West, I personally believe, is in this woke everything is a social construct phase, is because it is a victim of its own success, of its own material success. It was able to achieve a standard of living that, honest to God, most likely has never been seen in history before. So it got to the stage where it got lazy, fat, and complacent mentally, not physically fat and whatever, but I guess that too. But mentally lazy, right? Where it started to lose sight of what was really important in terms of preventing calamities from happening, so to speak, right? So to the point where it almost accepted that this way of living we have, this incredible last 20, 30 years in the West, at least, I know other countries have suffered a lot, but for the most part in the West, is just like some sort of a God given right. When it's like, no, do you understand the previous generations of Western Europeans, Americans, and Canadians? Do you know what they had to give to for you to get to this level? Do you know the kind of things that they had to do? And by the way, those things were unsavory ones as well. Go to India, steal loads of their resources. These things, these amazing things, didn't just rain upon you because God just chose you to be the chosen people. You had to work for this stuff, and they lost sight of that. And I think that in the future, what is likely to happen is that standard of living in the West will drop, unfortunately, which means I'm going to flip and have to suffer because of these woke idiots, me personally, which is mad annoying, which is one reason why I feel very, very passionate about this, because I am going to have to flip and suffer, and everybody else is as well. We're all going to have to suffer. And then when that happens, like always, people will realize, people, basically, life will give a reality check to people, and then people will realize, oh, calling it a reversion back to traditionalism is going to invoke some sort of a confrontational response, like from my deluded friend on the other side of the screen, called Xiaowish. But it is going to be that, where it's going to be a reversion back to baseline, a reversion back to some sort of a default, something that they had before. A reversion, honestly, what I would like to call it is a reversion back to common sense. That's it. And that could mean whatever the hell you want it to mean. I don't care, but it's just going to be basic common sense, because I feel like for the most part in the West, people have just, like, common sense is here, and people are like, I don't like this. I want to go as far away from this as possible. And it's like, dude, like, don't just be funky for the sake of being funky. Like, don't you want to win? Like, let's try to win, please. So absolutely, I agree with AFGZ. She's on fire.
Yeah, traditionalism. First of all, okay. The
Yeah,
traditionalism is
go
generally the way to, win. But yeah, I agree with something
ahead.
like
What did you say?
75% of what Starik has said. If the standard of living in Europe goes down, then yes, people will go to some sort of a traditionalistic whatever. But if it
But
doesn't go
why? No,
down,
no, no, no. Can we listen, 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 listen? I wanna press you on this a little bit. Why would they go back to that?
comfort.
No. See, I wish don't be
Comfort.
cheeky, okay? Hold on. So, is it just comfort? It's got nothing to do with that giving them the best chances of success.
No,
It's just comfort,
no, it's just comfort.
familiarity.
Yes. But also
You sure
belief in
about that? Yeah.
something, some sort of principle, something to explain. I think that generally when a society declines, it becomes more conservative because it wants to go back to sort of a mythical golden era. I think that one day Europeans will not look back to this time, but rather to their colonial glorious past, and try to go back to it if things collapse here. So I think that's why I
I
don't
think
think
that's
they've
pessimistic, dude. I think that's really, really pessimistic. I
maybe.
think I don't think so. I agree with you, by the way, that it is going to be comfort and familiarity, I suppose. But those to say that that is like the main reason, honestly, I would say that's like 15% of the reason. I would say
How
like
would
80,
how
but
would
because I've done surveys.
Christianity? Sorry.
I've done surveys on quantifying this. Okay,
Wow.
listen, I've just asked the numerous voices in my head. But no. But I think the main reason is because, goddamn, I do not have the words to be able to express this. But I'll give it a go. I'm probably gonna look like a buffoon. But I think there is something within humans where we do pass down knowledge. We do pass down wisdom. Some sort of a um, collated wisdom from human experience.
Hmm.
Um, and those things, I'm not talking about 100 years, 200 years, I'm talking about tens of thousands of years of experiences. And I think those experiences can be expressed through instincts if they've been done long enough, right? And so I think in that moment when you swore a little bit before, I'll swear a little bit. When shit hits the fan and when people revert back to something, for me, I look at that as being this is, if not the most important, this is very, very, very important for me to look at how this person
Yeah.
acts right now when shit hits the fan. Because that's when, like, your true, like, that's when the truth comes out. Like, when things are going nice and swimmingly and everything in society and standards of living are really high and the prospect of a war is like ridiculous to you. Like, people still fight wars? What the hell? I thought only people in like Islamic and like brown countries do that. What the hell? We don't do that stuff, right? That in that moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, your ideas, your opinions, they don't matter to me as much as when shit hits the fan and then you talk to me about your opinions and then your actions. So in those moments when quote unquote shit hits the fan, it is very important to see what a person does. So, and I think it's too dismissive to just like brush that off as being familiarity or comfort. I think there is some higher wisdom to the thing that people revert back to when shit hits the fan. There is something from an evolutionary perspective where your ancestors are basic. I know I'm sounding like some spiritual mumbo jumbo stuff, but your ancestors are basically like telling you, like they're kind of like guiding you because it's like we don't want things to like go extinct, so you need to do the right thing. And I don't think it's comfort or familiarity. That's like a tiny piece of it. You're not wrong, but to call that the main reason is like, nah, dude, you're not thinking about this deep enough.
But historically, when you go back to a golden era, like that, you don't actually stick to what worked back then. You try to find something that stuck back then, or what you think stuck back then. It leads to new interpretations rather than the same thing. So I don't think that the wisdom of the ancients actually comes down to us. But there was something else that I wanted to say. I forgot. Uh, but but yeah, the thing is that the wisdom that your ancestors passed down to you, first of all, is not exactly what you see, you interpret it. And secondly, the wisdom that they passed down to you, that is ancient. So
Yeah.
I don't think that it actually gives you a chance of success. I mean, how
No,
much success
but
did
dude.
the
Okay. I'm good. I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm sorry to say no in the middle of your sentence because it sounds condescending, and I apologize.
I
But
know I do that a
uh,
lot too.
sorry.
I do that a lot too, so
Nice,
sorry.
nice, nice. Um, But no, dude. See, this is honestly what you've said is literally one of the main reasons why people are going to revert back to traditionalism, and why there is going to be so like hardship is going to come to so many people in the Western world. It's one of hubris. So many people today, especially in the Western world, as a result of going through generational prosperity, right? And let's be honest, like even if you're just earning 40 grand a year in the West, you're probably richer than most people have been in history, like literally 99% of people in history, right? So generational prosperity has made people complacent to the point that you people nowadays think that, oh, two people who are separated by hundreds of miles, maybe like 1,000 miles, I think, can communicate with each other. Is we're so different, and so many of these issues that we have, they're so different, but they're not, dude. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. There are certain things. There are certain things, especially with the level of progress that has been made technologically, that is quite unique. I will put my hands up and I would admit that. But for the most part, it's just a different coating. It's the same themes, the same lessons, but the coating is different. It doesn't matter. This is the human experience that we're talking about. The emotions we're going to be feeling, they're all like the same as what our ancestors were feeling like 20,000 years ago. So that is like
So
a really big problem, I think, with modern people. It's
to
literally
summarize, to summarize,
gone.
what you're saying is
Yeah.
that people will revert to traditionalism because traditionalism gives them a chance of success.
When things go bad, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying that people revert to traditionalism not because it gives them success, but because they think it can give them success. It actually does not.
But
But
it doesn't matter, dude. That's
and
again,
also
you're doing the
comfort.
whole dumb semantic thing. Because if in the end it gives them success anyway, then who cares? Let them think it. Let them not think it. It doesn't matter.
The That's not what we're saying. Anyhow, let's move on because
Okay.
this question has been gone on long
You
enough.
like words a lot, dude. I just realized you like
Words
semantic.
are very important.
They're not that important. I'll be honest with you,
They're
dude.
very important.
No,
The
no,
thing is,
no.
there's a difference. There's a
Go, go,
difference
go.
between you thinking something is going to work and something actually working. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
No, of
saying.
course.
That people are going to revert. People are going to revert to traditionalism because that's the kind of things that happen when you get, yeah, difficult times come. You generally revert to traditionalism, not
Mm.
because it works, but because it's comfortable. You want there to be a purpose to life. You want there to be some sort of code that guides your life and all that. I don't think that it actually gives you success, but you think
I
it does, so
absolutely
you
do think it
revert
does.
to.
I absolutely, and I think you can actually break this down in a logical manner. I feel like we've talked about this for maybe we could talk about this next time.
Yeah,
But I
we've talked about
absolutely,
it for a long time.
you can
What do you
logically.
think about
Sorry,
what do you think about Indian food?
I flip and love Indian food, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love Indian food. Um, I Afghans. I don't know if this is all Afghans, but a lot of Afghans I've met, they have this like condescending outlook specifically towards biryanis. I can
Hmm.
understand why, because the Kabuli palau is so magnificent. But honestly, even a biryani is absolutely tremendous. Like it's legitly 8.5 out of 10. I've had biryanis that are like 9 out of 10. Um, my mouth is watering because I'm flipping thinking about food now.
Yeah.
But Indian food, I love it, man. I can't get enough. You know what I've
Storm
been
and
eating a lot, actually. Sorry. Listen. The only thing that gets me more passionate than Afghanistan is food. So be quiet.
okay.
I've been eating a lot of achar, like mango achar.
Hmm.
I love it,
I
dude.
love
I'm
that.
thinking about it right now. I got it downstairs.
Yeah, I love it. I usually have it with breakfast.
Oh wow! Oh, I'm not that hardcore, dude. What
Yeah.
kind of
It's
breakfast?
actually when I used to go to school, it was basically the only kind of breakfast that my mother used to like give us because it's like, doesn't spoil or anything easily. So like it with the paratha or a chapati or something.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mango
eating
achar
it always.
specifically, though. I love
Yeah,
mango
it's
achar.
amazing.
Yes.
Stormwind had a very bad experience with Indian food in Spain, so that's why he doesn't like it.
Dude, but he's Scandinavian, dude. He doesn't
Yeah,
have the melanin
Yeah.
to deal with those spices.
He actually tried my food. My food was very spicy. He said, I want to try it. He tried it, and that did not end well. And
So
he
you went
had,
to an Indian restaurant?
yeah, we went to an Indian restaurant. It was actually a Pakistani restaurant, but same thing.
Hey, listen, see, I wish. When are me and you gonna go on some sort of a historical tour somewhere?
Let's plan something to Uzbekistan because I really want to go there.
Dude, I want to go to Uzbekistan. Didn't we say we're gonna go in December? What happened to December, my G?
I'm in the middle of stuff.
Yeah, so am I. To be fair, I can't go in December,
Yeah.
but let's do something.
We can plan something next year.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be as ambitious as flipping Uzbekistan.
But I think Uzbekistan is like decent because here in Europe, basically all you have left is Spain. Yeah, for Islamic or Morocco. But I think for a Pakistani passport, it's more difficult to get a visa to Morocco than it is for Uzbekistan.
Oh, we could go Turkey. You haven't been Turkey?
No,
What?
Turkey. Oh, Turkey. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. That would
Turkey.
be
We can do
amazing.
that. Yes, that would be
Screw
fun.
Uzbekistan. Let's go Turkey, Istanbul,
Yeah, it's easy to get a visa. Yeah, let's do that.
and it's
Let's
way
plan that.
like quicker as well
Yeah,
and
it's like
cheaper.
3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have had Kabuli pulao like multiple times. I think that the rice is kind of biryani's has better rice than like
All right, wait,
in
wait, wait,
Kabuli
wait, wait.
pulao meat is
Listen. If you're gonna blaspheme, at least give me a
oh
disclaimer or something. Like,
okay.
don't,
And
don't,
that was
don't.
just my opinion. So yeah. Okay, this person is back again. Do you agree with that Islamic
But
God basically believing that the Christian Pakistan is Muslim? Also nationalists, but a new God and detrimental to Islam. Ooh, nice.
you agree with Allama Iqbal believing that the creation of Pakistan was necessary for Muslims, but also saying, damn, it's a pretty good question.
Wait, did Iqbal actually say that nationalism was detrimental? Huh, he said that Islamism is what we should stick to.
The
Interesting.
thing is, right? I feel like I've changed my mind on the whole Pakistan idea a little bit. Because I'll be honest, I'll put my hands up and I'll say, oh, it's so annoying. I have to leave in 5 minutes, but I'm going to say something
Oof.
like that's going to annoy some people potentially. I've never really been a big fan or advocate of the Pakistan movement, right?
Okay.
So, but I will say, over the last year, I would say, over the last year, I have become a little bit more open to the idea, not the idea of it, but the reason behind why some of those thinkers thought it was a good idea in the first place, right? So the fear of the fear of persecution under a Hindu majority government once it becomes fully independent. Just things like that, right? So I'm still not fully like a big advocate of the Pakistan movement because I feel like there's like whatever, but that's a discussion for another day. But in relation to this question, do you agree with Allama Iqbal basically saying that the creation was necessary? I don't know if it was necessary, dude. Why was it necessary? Can you make a case? Because you sound like you're more of a fan of it. I mean, you are Pakistani actually.
Alama Iqbal as a poet, I love the guy.
Okay, but
His
that's different.
idea of
That's different.
Pakistan, absolutely love that.
Yeah, but
Um,
why? Why?
okay, here's the thing. I know that religion should not determine nation. That dividing Muslims and Hindus solely on the basis of their religion is very simplistic.
Hmm.
It's not good. But religion is basically the first thing, the biggest divide between any two people.
Right.
And religion was going to be the first thing that was going to be targeted at some point. So
Why?
I think that
Why?
because
Wait,
religion was
targeted
sort
by
of
who and why?
somebody, BJP, for example, Modi, Hindutva, all of that was just a matter of time because RSS already existed at the time of independence. Before the independence, actually, Muslim League actually allied with them, I think, in KPK or something.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that to divide India on the basis of religion, very simplistic. And in an ideal world, I would have divided that country into multiple smaller countries based on nationality and not religion. But I think that dividing that if you cannot get away with that, you should at least get away with dividing the Muslims and the Hindus, limit the conflict. Otherwise, you would have these huge two groups living, and it was only a matter of time until some demagogue came along and did what has been done there. I don't 100% agree with the fact that with the idea that yeah, Muslims and Hindus are two separate nations. I think they can form a single nation, but that nation cannot look like India.
I feel like we need more time to talk about this, which is unfortunate because I have to
Definitely.
run. We should definitely talk about this another time.
Yeah.
Because I disagree with a lot with what you just said, by the way, but I don't have time to press you on it, which is
Okay.
annoying.
Yeah,
But
Matt, thank you. Matt has given a, I think it's called a super chat.
hey, Matt,
Yes,
give me a super chat, dude. You already give
it's
this guy
for
money.
it's for you. He's basically saying that I can buy you something when we go to Uzbekistan.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice, nice.
like a palau or something. Palau, I
Buy
think
the
it's called.
conservative guy something when they got to. Hey, listen, you can say whatever you want about me. Just throw some money my way.
Of course. And if that 50,000 thing works out, the kiss thing, I will definitely take that if the offer still stands. I can buy you something nice.
Okay, yeah, like a Rolex, yeah.
Yeah. If it's a 50,000, I can buy you a new iPhone or something.
Dude, you know I'm gonna mug you.
Wow.
No, I'll literally just rob you. You have to buy me like a
That
Rolex.
is way too erotic for this.
Erotic. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you and take your money.
Oh,
What's
that's
erotic?
what mud means. I thought it meant like, intimately putting mud on each other. But let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
So, anyhow, we should
people.
end the live stream now.
Yeah, but listen, I'm gonna end it because this is my channel and I run the show here. Um, People, make sure you go and check out Hikmah History. I got loads of content. I'm gonna be uploading a video at least once a week, probably like every 6 days or something. A lot of really cool stuff from a bunch of different places. Regional history, Ottomans, Afghan, Persian, whatever. See, I wish is probably not going to be uploading videos that regularly because he's just a lazy guy. That's what communists do. And make sure you check out Street Food Bites. Very important. Support your boy. And also, my two brothers, we already know they're MMA fighters. They started a YouTube channel. So if you can go, you know what? It's called Basharat Brothers. Go check out their channel and subscribe because it's see, I wish I'll tell you as well. It's really hard in the beginning when you start a channel to like get any momentum going, and it can be really annoying. So just go and subscribe to them, which would be amazing. Thank you for the amazing questions, loads of you, especially that AFGZ chick. Incredible questions.
Why do you
Thank you.
keep assuming it's chick? It's a girl.
Picture
Sorry.
is some hot chick, bro. The picture is the thumbnail is some hot chick.
Wow. That
Um,
is sexist and offensive and wow.
I just gave a flipping compliment. What's wrong with you, you sensitive
Well,
little?
that is so sexist to say. How is it
What?
again?
What? The fact that I
It's
called her a chick?
no, you said it's hot.
All right, attractive. What do you want me to say?
You said something like that. Like that is offensive. Like
Hot.
it's like when you call someone breedable and then say how exactly is it offensive to say someone is breedable.
Yeah, I
Also,
wish don't do
Stormwind is
that.
saying that
Yeah,
it's
I wish don't
probably
do that. Don't do
yeah.
that,
It's
bro. Just because nobody's ever called you hot. Just because no one's ever called you hot. What's wrong with you?
that's why I'm against it. That I admit that, but that's why I'm against that.
You know what? I like the fact that you hold it. You admit it, and you realize you're a very flawed person. But it's fine. So am I. Apparently, I'm really insecure. um,
And also,
but yeah,
according to Stormwind, it's that person you called chick is probably a catfish. Stormwind
probably
would know because he actually made that account to catfish people, and he managed to get only one single person to believe that he was a girl, and that's Sam Aronoy. Aronow.
no way.
Yeah, he
That's
thought he was a girl, but he didn't like text him or anything.
yeah.
But it's just yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so deep. Okay. All right, guys.
Anyhow,
Tarek
all right.
looking pretty breedable right now. Yo, chill.
Aww.
Oh, chill, 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 dog, chill. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Love
Thank you
you.
very much, and bye. I thought I'd see you again. See you
All right.
some other time.
Take
Bye.
care, my guy. Take care.